They say love is blind, but I've always believed love simply refuses to see what it doesn't want to know. That's why so many women end up at my doorstep. Too late, too shattered, too betrayed. I remember the day Maria came to me, her eyes red from sleepless nights, her heart as fragile as a cracked eggshell. She didn't say a word at first, just sat down and gripped her hands together so tightly I thought she might break a bone. 10 years, she whispered. 10 years of marriage, and now I feel like he's slipping through my fingers. I touched her wrist. Her pulse was racing, not from fear, but from fury. Your husband still loves you, I said. But love alone cannot hold a man who's already facing temptation. Her voice cracked. There's this woman, Uliana. She just came back from Italy. She's beautiful, confident, rich. And she used to be his first love. Ah, there it was. The ghost of the past walking into the present, wearing designer heels. I closed my eyes. I saw her husband, Vasil, tall, kind-hearted, yet weak-willed when it came to flattery. He wasn't a cheater by nature, no. But he was the kind of man who'd stumble, if the path looked soft enough. You've done nothing wrong, I told her. But the energies in your home have shifted. He's under influence, and not just from this woman. What do I do? She asked, nearly begging. How do I keep him from slipping away? I handed her a red thread, coarse but strong. Go home, I said. Take something from the kitchen that represents the masculine, a chili pepper, or horseradish. Tie it with something feminine, an onion, an apple. Bind them together with this thread. Hang it in your kitchen where it's visible. She blinked. That's it. Let them hang, I said. As long as they're tied together, so will you and your husband be. She left, clutching the thread like a lifeline. And I knew this was just the beginning. The next day, Maria made the charm. She tied a red pepper and an onion together with my thread and hung it right above the stove. And just like that, something changed. Her Vasil, who'd grown distant and moody, suddenly came home with a smile. He kissed her cheek, made jokes over dinner, and even noticed the new curtains she'd bought 2 weeks ago. I saw Uliana today, he mentioned casually. She looks different. Maria's stomach turned. Different how? Like someone playing dress-up, he laughed. Fancy but hollow. Maria smiled, though her eyes were still full of doubt. She tried to forget about Uliana, trusting the charm to hold her man close. And for a while, it did. But temptation isn't always so easy to tie up with string. A few days later, Maria heard whispers from the market. Neighbors said Uliana had visited her home, while she was at work. Maria rushed back, heart pounding. And there they were, Vasil and Uliana, sitting at her kitchen table like it was theirs. She exploded. What is this? A private dinner in my own home. Vasil looked stunned. She just stopped by. Did she stop by your bed too? Maria screamed. Did you cut the onion from my charm to serve it to her? He stood up, furious. I don't have to explain myself to a paranoid woman who's spying on me. She couldn't believe what she was hearing. 10 years of loyalty, replaced by bitterness, betrayal, and a woman with foreign perfume. That night, Vasil slept on the couch. The silence between them was heavier than any fight. But love, as I said, is stubborn. Maria still hoped. She baked his favorite pie, tried to soften her tone. She even told herself she'd imagined it all, that Uliana was no threat, that Vasil would never cheat. But then, she saw him with Valentina. Not Uliana. No. This time it was a new woman. Young, giggling, and way too familiar. Maria lost it. She stormed into Vasil's workplace during lunch, just in time to see Valentina feeding him cake. Her scream froze the room. I knew it. I knew you'd find someone else once Uliana left. Valentina stood up, laughing nervously. It's just cake, Maria. You'll be eating that cake through a straw if you touch him again. The damage was done. Vasil came home drunk that night, his shirt smelling like women's perfume. Maria didn't need proof anymore. Her heart had already broken. She returned to me with tears and a bundle of laundry in her arms. "It didn't work," she sobbed. "Your charm. It didn't stop him." "Did you hang his clothes inside out?" I asked. "What?" "When you wash a man's clothes," I said, "you must hang them right side out. If you don't, the luck and love in those threads will be reversed." Maria paled. "I didn't know." "Then fix it," I said, handing her another red thread. "Take the clothes, turn them right, and place them under your bed. For 7 nights. He will either return to your arms, or vanish forever." Maria left, her hands trembling. Not with fear, but with determination. The war for her marriage had truly begun. I warned her. When the balance in a home begins to shift, even a dried apple on the windowsill can start to rot from within. And Maria, she wove her threads of suspicion tighter than a spider's web, until even love could no longer breathe. The night after our meeting, she hung the charm in the kitchen, onions and apples twisted with red thread and the sharp strength of horseradish. A crude charm, but powerful in the hands of a woman who still believes. For a few days, Vasil turned soft again, like warm bread in her hands. He smiled more, even laughed at her jokes like he used to. She began to hope. But shadows have a way of creeping back in. She returned from the market one evening, arms full of flour and cherries for his favorite pie, only to find the neighbor, sharp-tongued as a magpie, leaning against the fence. "Well, look who's glowing. Baking love back into him, are we?" The woman grinned. "Just be careful, Marichka. I saw Vasil with your Uliana. They looked cozy enough to share more than just memories." Maria's heart, which had just begun to mend, cracked again. She dropped the groceries and ran. And what did she find? Her Vasil and Uliana, together in her kitchen, laughing over tea like they'd never been apart. "Did you enjoy your little reunion?" she snapped, her voice shaking. "Or are you just warming up for a bigger betrayal?" Vasil blinked, confused. "It's not what you think." "Oh please," she spat. "You cut down my charm for her? The one I made to protect this house? Maybe next time you'll hang garlic for your hussy too." The fight escalated like summer thunder, fast, loud, and impossible to stop. He stormed out, slamming the door behind him. Maria stayed in the kitchen, staring at the chopped onions and bruised apples on the floor. Her charm, shredded and useless. That night, she couldn't sleep. The bed was too cold. Her thoughts too loud. By morning, she decided to visit Vasil's workplace, the wholesale produce market where he worked. She carried a tray of homemade buns, still warm. A peace offering. But peace was not what she found. At the market's loading dock, she saw Vasil with another woman, not Uliana this time, but a younger one. Valentina, the new accountant. Laughing. Touching his arm. Whispering. Maria's vision blurred, not from tears, but from rage. She confronted them, buns forgotten, her voice cutting through the morning bustle. "How sweet. And here I was worried about Uliana. But you've got a whole buffet." Vasil turned pale. Valentina looked amused. "I didn't know your wife was coming," she said lightly, flicking a cherry stem from her lips. "You little..." Maria launched herself forward, barely stopped by 2 co-workers. Vasil grabbed her wrist, but she yanked free. "Don't bother coming home tonight," she screamed. "Go play house with her." That night, he didn't come home. Nor the next. Nor the next after that. Maria wandered the house like a ghost. The charm was gone. The love was gone. Her heart felt like raw dough, pushed, pulled, stretched until it tore. After a week, she came back to me. Pale. Thin. Hollow. "I think I've lost him," she whispered. "Not yet," I told her. "But the fault isn't only his." She blinked, stunned. "Mine. You hung the charm. Good. But you didn't protect it. You let it fall. You let doubt in. And worse, I held up her offering, Vassal's crumpled t-shirt. You dried his clothes without turning them inside out. She gasped. It is an old law, child. When a woman hangs her man's clothes without turning them, she invites others to undress him. But I didn't know. Now you do. I gave her the last chance. Take every item of his clothing that dried wrong. Turn them inside out. Hide them beneath your shared mattress. 7 nights. No more. No less. Maria clutched the shirt like a life rope and ran. And perhaps it would have worked. Perhaps it would have drawn him back. If not for Uliana. Because just as the charm began to breathe again, the past came clawing at the door. Maria saw Vassal arguing with Uliana outside the shop. She followed them home, heart in her throat. Through the window she watched them, Uliana with her hand on his chest. Vassal not pulling away. When she burst through the door, Uliana smiled. Your husband was just about to leave, she said sweetly. Maria's voice cracked like a whip. Get out. Uliana rolled her eyes. Big mistake, Vassal. But hey, if you want to live with a paranoid witch, be my guest. He turned to Maria, face hard. I can't do this anymore. You already did, she whispered. And just like that, he left again. But you know what I told her later? That he was never really with Uliana. That night, she came back, tears dry, voice trembling. What if I was wrong? She asked. I touched her hand. You were. But you weren't alone. He was weak. You were frightened. But love isn't about being perfect. It's about trying again, or letting go. I didn't say more. Because I saw it then, the path splitting before her. One toward forgiveness, the other toward freedom. But that choice, it was never mine to make. I warned her. I always do. But few listen the first time. Jealousy, after all, is a beast that howls louder than wisdom whispers. Maria tried to hold herself together after the fight with Vassal, but even the strongest roots crack under enough pressure. That night, Vassal didn't come home. The next morning, he didn't call. He didn't write. Days passed. Maria kept checking the phone like a widow clutching a rosary, each silence more deafening than the last. Her hands trembled when she returned to me. He's gone, she said, her voice hollow. I don't know where, and I don't know if he'll come back. I saw the broken thread of love hanging from her heart like a torn veil. You still want him? I asked, though I already knew. I love him, she said simply. But I don't know if that's enough anymore. Then let's find him. But not just him, let's find the truth too. She brought me the shirt he wore when he left. The one that had been drying, unturned, hung with carelessness. Just like I feared, I murmured. You made the charm, but you broke its rules. The shirt, Maria, it was supposed to stay hidden, absorbing the straying wind from your man's soul. But he found it. He took it with him. I closed my eyes, letting the scent of the shirt drift into my senses. Beneath the cologne, beneath the trace of woman's perfume, I found the truth. He wasn't truly gone. He was wandering, floating, indulging in comfort, but not commitment. He's still nearby, I told her. And he misses you. But he's wrapped in softness, not your arms. Maria's eyes watered. Then how do I get him back? You don't chase a man with shouting. You don't chase him with chains. You guide him home with silence and truth. Where do I even start? I leaned in close. Walk down your street. The very first person you meet. Ask them. They will hold the thread. Maria followed my instructions. And fate played its part, as it always does. A child, the neighbor's boy, wide-eyed and innocent, revealed what no adult had dared say. He's been living at our place, the boy chirped. Mommy says I can't tell anyone. But I saw them kissing last night. Maria's heart dropped into her stomach. The name came like venom from her tongue. Helena. She stormed to the neighbor's door, rage boiling into her blood. And there he was. Her vassal. Barefoot, red-faced, awkwardly clutching a half-empty mug like it might explain everything. 10 years, she cried. 10 years of loyalty, and this is what I get? A dog that curls up in the first warm lap it finds. Helena tried to intervene. He came to me. I didn't steal him. You drove him away. Maria didn't need to fight. The look in Vassal's eyes said enough. Shame. Regret. And the pathetic kind of longing that follows weakness. Stay, she said. If this is what you want. But don't come crawling back when it turns cold. 4 days after, Maria didn't sleep. Her anger gave way to sadness, then to reflection. And slowly, understanding. She came back to me one final time. I want peace, Madam Grace. Not revenge. Not guilt. Just peace. You'll have it, I said. Because now you've seen him as he truly is. And you've seen yourself as you must become. She nodded. I think I'm ready to let go. Vassal returned days later. Of course he did. They always do when comfort turns into inconvenience. But Maria had already packed his things. Her tears were dry. You already left once, she said. This time, I'll help you carry your bag. He stood in the doorway, dumbfounded. Are you serious? She smiled, calm as the dawn. Dead serious. And just like that, she chose herself. I'll never forget the peace on her face as she walked away from the man she once thought was her only home. Because sometimes, the strongest act of love is letting go. They say the strongest women are forged in fire. But Maria, she was tempered by betrayal. It had been a week since Vassal left her life. A week of silence. A week of her bed feeling too big, her heart too tight, and her mind full of what-ifs. And just when she was starting to breathe on her own again, she heard the door knock. It was him. He looked older, tired, humbled. A man who had tried to find paradise in someone else's arms, and instead got burned by reality. Maria, he said softly. Can we talk? She stared at him for a long moment. Part of her wanted to slam the door. Another part, one she hated, wanted to throw herself into his arms. But instead, she stepped aside. He walked in. Familiar, yet foreign. Like a coat you once loved, now out of season. I stayed with Helena, he admitted. But it wasn't what I thought. It wasn't love. It wasn't even comfort. Maria didn't speak. She didn't want me. She wanted to win. Over you. That stung more than she expected. I realized something, he continued. You were always the one. I got lost. You didn't just get lost, she said. You walked away. He lowered his head. I know. And I don't expect forgiveness. But I had to tell you. I'm sorry. She could see the weight of his words on his shoulders. But forgiveness isn't given, it's earned. I'm filing for divorce, she said quietly. His eyes widened. What? Maria, please, She raised her hand. I love you, Vassal. I probably always will. But I love myself more now. He didn't fight her. Maybe because deep down, he knew she was right. That night, Maria came to me again. She didn't cry. She didn't shake. She just sat with a quiet calm that only comes after a storm has passed. I let him go, she said. But why does it still hurt? Because letting go doesn't mean forgetting, I replied. It means healing. And healing is messy. She nodded. I thought love meant holding on. Sometimes, I said. But real love, true, fierce, selfless love, it starts with you. She stayed a while longer. We spoke little. I gave her a candle and a charm of woven red thread. Hang this in your home, I told her. Not for him. For you. So you never forget your worth. Weeks passed. Maria filed the papers. Vassal moved out of town. Helena. She moved on faster than a shadow at sunset. I hear she set her sights on another married man now. Some women never change. But Maria. She changed. She went back to work. She laughed more. Baked less out of duty and more out of joy. She traveled with friends. She even took a solo trip to the mountains, something she used to dream of but never dared. And one evening, she returned to visit me, holding a fresh apple pie. For you, she smiled. Still got your sweet tooth? I laughed. Always. We sat on the porch as the sun dipped low. I thought my life was over, she said. But it's just starting, isn't it? Oh, child, I smiled. It always was. You just stopped waiting for someone else to live it for you. She stayed until the stars came out. Before leaving, she turned to me. If another woman comes crying over her unfaithful husband, what should I tell her? I took her hand. Tell her, a good man is a treasure, but peace of mind is a crown. And no queen should give up her crown to chase a runaway knight. She laughed, that deep, strong laugh only healed women can make. As she walked away, I knew one thing for certain. Maria was no longer just a wife. She was her own woman. And no man, not even the love of her life, could ever dim that light again.